this is Eva, and you're watching Israeli startup channel, ISUP. So today, SpaceIL is up, and we're with Yonatan Winetraub, who is the founder of SpaceIL. So, hello Jonathan.
Hello, nice being here.
Oh wow, SpaceIL is looking to have the first Israeli spacecraft on moon. So it's really interesting project, and could you please tell us more about it?
Yeah, so first of all, by the way, this is a full-scale model of the spacecraft itself. This is how big it's going to be. It's unmanned, it's a non-manned mission. SpaceIL is part of a competition called the Google Lunar X Prize. This is a competition for landing the first unmanned spacecraft on the moon with private funding. So it means not government can do that. And we're competing in that competition. Our spacecraft is actually being built as a joint venture between SpaceIL and also other Israeli high-tech companies like Israeli Aerospace Industries or IAI, universities around Israel, and technology institutions. We're actually the only not-for-profit team in this competition. The prize for the first team to do this is $20 million. We're going to contribute that towards promoting science and scientific education in Israel, so we're not-for-profit.
So, in regards of that, I heard there's so many volunteers who wants to contribute to SpaceIL. So
this is true. SpaceIL is actually, we have about 20 people which are actually full-time. These are the core team that works on the spacecraft. But we also have about 250 volunteers. These are people that on their spare time say, I build a spacecraft. So there are only 250 volunteers in Israel that do that, and they're doing that on their spare time. Now it's very intense because it's a long project that takes a few years, but they're also very involved in this.
So is there any reason that you're also having this project for also inspiring kids for this?
Of course, so SpaceIL is not only about the technology itself and getting to the moon, it's also by touching the heart of the communities, and it's very, very important. We use this to also serve as a beacon for today's kids, because today's kids, they want to be rock stars, they want to be celebrities, they don't want to be science and engineers anymore. And we want to take this project and serve as a beacon to get the kids going for studying science and education. And one day, they will build their own spacecraft, or they would cure cancer, or other amazing things that they can do.
So I heard there are so many competitors from the other side of the world. So could you please tell us about the competitive proposition that Israel has?
So first of all, we're building this to have the first Israeli spacecraft on the moon. The competition is a very good incentive. $20 million is a very good incentive, but our main goal is landing the first Israeli spacecraft on the moon. Our competitors are very good. They have very talented people there, and they're very good companies. But our goal, apart from winning this competition, is actually having the first Israeli spacecraft on the moon.
So I think many countries now has their satellites, and some of them has sent their first man to the moon and everything. But what does this sending the spacecraft into the moon really has? What does it imply?
So first of all, it is rocket science. It's very, very difficult and complicated to build a spacecraft. But miniaturization technology has gone a long way since the Apollo days and when they sent a man to the moon. Actually, the iPhone that I'm holding here is actually more powerful than what entire NASA had, NASA altogether, at the times of Apollo missions and sending men to the moon. So miniaturization technology has gone a very, very long way, and we're taking this one step further. We're using Israeli technology that also had a very good miniaturization process through the Startup Nation in the 2000 and something years, since 2000 until today. And we're taking this one step further, and we're taking this all the way to the moon. So it's actually a very nice evolution of technology and Israeli technology all the way to the moon.
So it's so interesting idea that sending spacecraft to the moon. So how did you really come up with this?
Okay, so Yonatan, Fir, and I were the three founders of SpaceIL. We sat down in a bar, and another guy introducing us told us that you guys are crazy enough to go for the moon. Now, I know Google Lunar X Prize for some time now. I've been working in the space industry for some time. I was at NASA a few years ago. But it takes time until you find the right partners. It takes time until you find the right partners for the journey. and I'm very glad that I met those that I met those two there, and all the three of us started SpaceIL, and it's a very exciting journey ever since. And now it's evolved to a movement that also President Peres, the president of Israel, is supporting, and also other people around Israel. So it's very, very exciting for us to be here today.
So it was interesting to see that the office of SpaceIL is located in the Tel Aviv University. So is there any specific reason for that?
So actually, we want to be part of the community. We want to be attached to the community because a lot of Israeli spacecrafts are actually used by military. So the public cannot see them. The public cannot touch them. And this is why we are the opposite of that. We want to be a fully scientific mission that also sits here in Tel Aviv University, which is a university, also represents that. The construction of the spacecraft itself would be done in IAI, the Israeli Aerospace Industries, because a spacecraft is not something you build on your backyard. You need the special facilities for that, you need the instrumentation for that. So the construction itself is going to be done inside IAI's clean rooms, they call, where they have those instruments. But the development itself is being done here in this office at Tel Aviv University.
So you mentioned that SpaceIL is non-profit. So I guess there is so many support from the volunteers and everything. So could you please tell us like what supports are from many organizations inside Israel?
Yeah. So first of all, a lot of universities and technical institutions contribute to this project. A lot of Israeli high tech is involved in this. Basically, the prime communication company is also supporting this project, and the Israeli Aerospace Industries and the Israeli Space Agency, which is also a very big enthusiastic part of this project. Also, the President Peres, which is a very important part of this. So we actually try to touch everyone and get all the people involved in this.
So what is your future plans after you really launch your first spacecraft on the moon?
So SpaceIL is all about is inspiration by doing. It's by taking a very difficult project and using that as a beacon, as an inspiration source for the community itself. After we land on the moon, we would take upon us another very difficult projects like recording dreams from your brain, or landing on Mars, or any other thing that would be a very, very inspirational project. And we go ahead and do this. And this is very, very, very big part of the core of SpaceIL.
And I also saw that one quote like Israeli spirit in the website that really makes things come true. So what do you think is Israeli spirit in regards to this project?
So for me, Israeli spirit is not taking no for an answer. When I was a kid, I always got a nose. I was applying for special studies and for gifted kids, and I would say no, and I had to work around and do other things and to get into this program. The same applies for SpaceIL. It's a very difficult project. A lot of people said it couldn't work. It would never work. The Israeli spirit is making it work, even though that everyone else said it wouldn't work. And for me, this is very good representation because it's very difficult to get people going in that direction. It's very difficult persuading people that it is possible. And we want to serve this as inspiration for other kids because, kids as they grow up, they would get a no for sure. They would not be accepted to the university they want to choose. They would not be taking to all classes that they want to do. But what we want these kids to do is say, okay, no is part of the process. We have to take this no and turn it to a yes. We want them to go ahead and do the other way and make a way that it will work. And this is what SpaceIL is about. And this is what, for me, the Israeli spirit is about.
So Korea is also really focusing into having their aircraft and spacecraft into the space and everything. So in that regards, what would you really like to say to Korean audience?
I've met So-Young Yi a few years ago at NASA, and for me, she represents a lot about what's about technology and about science. she actually went to space and she did experiments there, and she reported back the results and went back to Earth and pursued that in the community. Now, the reason this represents science for me, and I think that Korean people should also follow this path and go ahead and study science and engineering, is it's not always about the technology itself, it's also keeping the community involved, and having the people attached to that. And for me, Soyoung-yi represents that. So my recommendation for the Koreans that are watching this is, do the same thing she did. Take a wonderful technology, do the science, do a great science, and then go back to the communities.
Mm-hmm. So in that regards, I think SpaceIL is a good example because it's really open to community and let everyone participate. So I hope you great success ahead of SpaceIL, and thank you so much for your great message to Korea, and thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye bye.